So now we'll continue this session. Before that, whatever we created, okay, you just delete it. Go to here, go to all resources. As I said, whenever you learn something, whenever you want to log out, before you log out, you go to Azure, you go to all resources and select all and say delete. Say yes and delete everything. Let's wait. So the same whatever we discussed, it is for AWS, but the AWS, let me just go here. So you need to go to EC2. Let me just switch over to North Virginia. The concept was same, but only thing is, most of the time we used to create a launch instance, right? This launch instance, I'm just going with say Windows. Let us take some say this one, 2019. Say T2 Micro. In this, if you go and select the default settings, I'm going with the default settings. So if you want to go, say, shared file system, okay, you can click this and you can also go and create the options, right? Come down. So first we will go with the one here. So I'm just going with 30 GB. So if you create, then you need to create as a GP2 with the multi-attach. So how many of you already created shared GP2 multi-attach? I have one question. Maybe if you already did it, can you just confirm whether you already created? Almost the concept is going to be the same, whatever we discussed. Only thing is you need to understand the EBS is here the disk part. Which one? No, I would suggest you raise your hand. You that is why I'm not going with the most of the time live. Sanjay, can you unmute? Yeah, I given access.
Sir. Yes, sir. Can we create a custom? Can we download our custom AMI and put in our private cloud? Is it possible? Or
No. What is the exact purpose? So which private cloud you are expecting? Either OpenStack or what kind of a private cloud it is?
VMware.
Yeah, VMware. Yes, it's possible. But only thing is in VMware, you can create on your own quickly. That is where we are talking about the Terraform infrastructure as a code and all. The reason is AMI is compatible with AWS. If you take Azure, they have their native type. So I would strongly suggest if you go with the VMware, then you can create one VM. Anyway, most of the provisioning now going via only the code. So use the code, you can provision it, you can install all you want, you can configure everything you want, then you can take the image there itself. But sometime from on-prem to cloud, so lift and shift, that time, yeah, it's okay to put some effort. But if it is going to be on-prem, you want to create as an image, I strongly recommend you create there itself using the existing provisioning codes, server creation scripts and all you have, right? So use that and create it. That is the first preference I used to ask for it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, how is there anybody who used multi-attach in AWS? Venumatavi, anybody?
No, Vijay.
Okay, see, if you want to go multi-attach, I'm just going here. AWS, EBS, multi-attach. There is something you need to understand. While creating in this disk, can you see provisioned IOPS? Can you see the provision IOPS? So you need to read through some, they have some limitation. So either multi-attach for IO1 in even some region is there, some region is still not available. Okay, so you need to, if you want to go with this one, then you have to go with provisioned IOPS, IO1, IO2. Pretty much rest of the procedures are same. So you have to, this is the OS disk. So let's go with the normal one, GP2. But if you want to have the shared disk, right? So go here and provisioned one. So in this case, you can attach it to here. So, and also if you go here, move the cursor here, you can mount the disk. So there is a two things. One is in Azure, whatever we see in disk with multiple server mount point. And there is another one, shared one. So both you can utilize it. And here also there is a EFS. You can create and mount it for Linux servers. And even for Windows, there is a FSX. You can create this and mount for it with Windows servers. So the EFS and FSX fully managed. Okay, but here, if you go with this kind of a local storage plus storage with local attached, then you have to maintain all backup, snapshots, everything. So this is the exactly we have discussed in Azure as of now. Samsul, yes, I given access very long back. Samsul.
Yes, Vijay, now it is enabled.
Yes, yes. Okay, so now yesterday, a couple of people asked about the pipeline. Okay, how many of you here still not confident on, because day by day, even in this internship group, I'm seeing so many tools, everybody posting, and even some of your status or some of your LinkedIn, I watched. See, one thing you need to understand, going behind a lot of tools, of course, it's going to confuse you. How many of you here still not clear on CI/CD tools? Basically, what I need to study. This I repeated several times, but still, I'm happy to explain again.
Vijay, please explain. I want to hear again.
Okay. One of the thing. This is a major people has to understand first. Okay. Any other people? You have any specific question? Please put it in a table now. I just want to hear before I start explain. I want to hear what are all queries around this, so that I can give more example towards your questions.
I'm also one of them, sir. I'm not able to understand what to study.
Okay. No. Is there any specific question? Pasmini, can you open up? Probably I given access to you. Can ask your query. Any Akhil? Yes. Akhil?
Yes, Vijay. Even I'm not sure where to start, whether I should learn Jenkins or whether Azure DevOps or AWS DevOps.
Okay.
So that's the query.
Okay. Okay.
Vijay, I want how to set up this one, like pipeline with this GitHub Actions.
I explained even some 2 weeks back complete pipeline implementation.
Yeah, I will check it. Then I'll check it.
Okay. Anyway, I'll first explain. Let's see. Okay, see here. Before going to DevOps tools, okay, I'm just going to open up the digital AI. Okay, are you able to see the screen? Just opening digital AI. See, this is the reason is it will be really handy. So even I explained in one of my videos, even a couple of times I explained in this internship itself. So I'm just going here. So I'm just saying some declaration. Okay, see, are you able to see this? Okay, let me, in the easiest way, let me open one Excel sheet so that people will understand very clearly. Okay, so I'm just going here. Okay, are you able to see the Excel sheet, empty Excel sheet? First, we will go with this. We will go say tool names. Tool names. And we will go with this first functionality. Okay. Okay, and say purpose. Okay. Can anyone tell me what all I need to say? For example, I need to have one website. Say www.icicibank.com. Let's go with a simple example. I need one application. Okay. So my requirement is I want to host this website. Remember, this is the financial client, financial application. So I want to host this. So I want everyone who is not having background noise, please raise your hand and open up what is your idea, what is your thinking. I want to host this application. What all you need first? I give an access, Ravi, everybody. You can.
We need a domain in first place, Vijay.
Okay, you need a domain. Okay,
Mm.
domain. Okay, what all you need? Go for it. I do not any silent listener. Those who are not from any background noise, please raise your hand, open up. First, you tell me. First, I want to put all your ideas here. Then I will correct it. It will be easy
We
for
need
you to understand.
to deploy the application. We need to write the code.
Okay, wait. So you need to write the code, correct? I mean the web application, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, write the code. What are all you need? Deploy the application. Okay, deploy the application. What are all you need?
We need a web server.
Redundant.
So web server. Web server. Okay, let us put it in the Excel sheet itself so that I can share it later to you all. So we
Between
will go
write and deploy, we need to
first
build the code.
Yeah, first domain you need, and then what are all you need? Write the code and deploy the application. So write the code so that we can share it in the same GitHub tech queries pressure which I created yesterday. So deploy the application. Deploy the application. Okay, what are all we need?
In between, we need to build the code also.
Okay, write the code, build the code. Okay, no, whatever you think, you let me know. I'm here to today clear all your confusions. Build the code. Okay, now
Artifactory to store the bills.
okay, Artifactory to store the bills. To store the bills. Okay, what all you need?
Redundant
Server.
Sorry.
redundant a server with a redundancy.
Okay, server with redundancy. Okay, this is not a purpose, but this is the production expectation.
Web server.
Redundant. Can you tell me the spelling? I'm very bad in
RE
English. RE
TUN
TUN
TA.
Okay, let it be. Okay, we don't want the English. We need a just
We need to create the image, Docker image.
if you are going with the Docker, correct?
Yeah.
So either VM with the installed application, installed software, or the relevant Docker images, right?
Reserved ports.
Which one?
Reserved ports.
Yeah. See, that is the Docker environment, container environment, correct?
Git we need, right, to store the report code.
Go on mute. There is a background noise. Git to store the code. Okay, what all we need?
Main web server is it?
Okay, web server or web application server.
Yeah.
Or web application server. Okay, what all we need? Venu Madhavi, everybody. I don't want any silent here. Those who are not in the background noise, please open up. I just
the database.
Okay, you need a database. Okay.
Storage.
Balancer. We need a load balancer, then storage.
We need a load balancer and storage. Okay.
If it is going to be secured, if it is going to, if we are going to secure the application, then we obviously need certificates, SSL or TLS based.
Okay, certificate. That and all. While building it, the code itself, we can automate. Okay, we will put it a certificate. Okay, what all we need?
After building the application, if we want to get the alert, then you told Slack last time. Notification.
So Slack kind of a tools. Which one? Which category? Collaboration tool, right?
Yes. So monitoring. So this comes under
collaboration and monitoring. We can say collaboration and monitoring softwares, right?
Yeah, Vijay.
Okay. Then what all we need? Still, main people are not asking. Okay.
Security.
Vijay.
Security.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Main thing is that where to host that service, hosting service.
Hosting service. Anyway, this will come under this because after you decide the hosting only, you will create a VM or Docker infrastructure, right?
Elasticity also is there if they need it. Electricity.
No. I'm talking about our software part or those things. In order to host the server, anyway, you need infrastructure. You need to decide either I need a VM from AWS or I need a VM from Azure or I need a VM from my local data center. Okay.
Jenkins, we will configure all this. Jenkins, main your.
Okay, before going to the Jenkins, I'm not at all. I don't want any Jenkins or those kind of a specific names. What is Jenkins? So there should be some purpose. So here itself, even I don't want Artifactory to store the
CI/CD
builds.
tool.
Okay, what is the CA?
Continuous integration, continuous deployment tool.
What is the CA? Can you give me some example? Then
No,
we'll go.
if your organization is going to release the features very regularly and they are going to update their application
Wait,
often.
hold on. You have one point. So regularly, can we say very frequently?
Frequently, yeah.
Okay. So your organization going to release the changes very frequently. Okay. Sorry for my spelling. Frequently. Okay. So who is this person? It's a strict manager, strict officer. We can say funny strict officer. Okay. What all we need? So this we are going to call it as continuous integration.
Yeah, continuous.
Okay, so this is exactly it's a agile. Okay, I'll just come down. Okay, what all we need?
Vijay, if we are building this from scratch, probably we may look at the functional requirements, non-functional requirements.
No, that and all. When you write a code, you need to define this and you need to create the application as part of that. Correct?
Yep.
So once you written the code, when you deploy, the non-functional requirement will comes into picture. Okay, so the non-functional requirement means someone had said resilience, someone said security. These are all storage, everything, and response time. So I'm talking about the CI/CD environment. Yeah, you are correct. These are all will help you to survive the application without any impact. I mean zero downtime. Correct. Okay, what all we need? We talk about the manager, strict officer. Then we also need one more person. Correct? Who is that person? Correct? Raj, today you are very silent.
Yes.
Rajkumar. Okay. So we need the deploy. See, we are releasing so many frequently. Now, after 10 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hours. So I'm releasing several changes. So someone has to also be there to deploy, to pick up and deploy. Correct? Continuous integration, continuous deployment. Correct?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, now what all you think of apart from this? There is a main thing people still never talked about. There is a 3 area we need to talk about. What all we need? We have discussed a couple of Ram. Why we need a testing Ram? I given access. You open up and speak. If you are not from background noise.
You are asking why would we need testing the application?
Yes.
Yeah. So before you release your application, we should run. We should run the application like user acceptance testing. I mean, how this application behaves. You have some use cases. I mean, how it responds to those use cases by giving some inputs, right? So if you don't specify that input in your database or somewhere in the application for which how it responds to that. So all that we have to test it before we hand it over to the actual team or the client.
Yes. So there is a one more area we are missing. So what is that?
Vulnerability checking.
Which one?
Vulnerability test.
Sorry. Your voice is echoing.
Vulnerability testing. That is what he said.
Yes. So can we say security assessment?
Yeah.
Security assessment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Security.
Now everybody go on mute. I'm going to ask, you can unmute yourself whenever you want to share or stop me. Okay. So now domain. this is a common one, so we can just remove it. Anyway, we need a domain to expose it so that people will come and access. So write the code. So how many of you know any development tool where developer will come and write the codes? Development
VS Code.
tools.
VS Code.
Yeah. So for developers. Okay. So you can go here. So you have a couple of tools, Visual Studio Code, and there is a this one, and normally go Visual Studio or
So the familiar ones are Eclipse.
yes,
Everybody is very
Eclipse.
familiar.
So Eclipse is one of the familiar. So I'm going to say Eclipse as of now because everyone knows about this. Okay, and build the code. So build the code means what? Developer is writing the code and he want to build it. Okay, and now while building the code, what you will use it?
It is a build tool like a Maven or Ant.
So Ant is a very old tool. Now Maven, or you can say Gradle, and then what is the build tools available in the market? Build tools for Java application or .NET application. For Java applications. See here. So there are a lot of tools. So you can go with the Gradle or Maven, which is a many people will knows. Okay,
yes.
I'm going with this. Now deploy the application. How to deploy the application now? See, before I go all this, please imagine we are not cloud, we are not DevOps. I'm just asking about how you will do in a manual driving car. Then I will compare with the actual DevOps. So how do you deploy? Say, for example, you have a .war file. Because you written the code, you build the code, so you are getting .war file or .jar file. Now you need to deploy this because with the code, with the built the code, it's really no use. It's a waste. You need to deploy. If you deploy, then only you can access as a web application. Like this is one web application because you are accessing as a website, right? So you need a web application. So what you will deploy? Where you will deploy?
So place the binaries into the host path.
No, that is what?
Of the server.
Which software? So you need a web application server, right? Or not?
We can use any of the middleware tool, WebLogic,
Previously DevOps. Basically, I started my career as a middleware administrator. Okay, so go here, middleware applications, say products or softwares, middleware. So see here, most of the time, if you go here, mostly Google. First, you need to define like this in Excel sheet. Forget about the cloud, forget about the DevOps. As a normal person, as a on-prem, as a legacy, first what you need. Okay, come down. So I used IBM WebSphere application server. Okay, let's go here. IBM WebSphere application server. Then come down. JBoss. So JBoss, yes, I used JBoss also. Come down. Oracle Fusion middleware. How many of you know WebLogic? How many of you at least heard about WebLogic?
Yeah, I work with WebLogic.
Yeah. So even you can go with the
Yeah,
WebLogic.
𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐵. I worked in WebSphere portal and VAS.
So WebSphere portal and VAS.
WebLogic.
What you will what you need to deploy in WebSphere portal? You need some kind of a built web application, correct?
Yes.
So what is the format normally? If you know, you tell me, or at least you need some built web application, correct?
Yeah. I did it in 2007.
No, it's okay. But you know, you need some built application to deploy, correct?
I used IBM RAD.
Yes. There are a lot of things, but we will go with some common tool so that we will not get confused. So you all agree we need any one of this software, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you have the WAR file, you have the running application, you have the written code. So you have the source code, you have the built application. Whenever you did, before you deploy or while deploy or after deploy, as soon as you deploy, you need this complete raw source code plus complete build. Both has to be stored somewhere, correct? Because whenever you raise any bug to the customer support, hey, I bought the Samsung mobile and this Facebook application is keep on crashing. So when you call the Samsung or iPhone customer care, they will see immediately check what is your mobile, what is your version, what is your OS version, what is the application version, everything. But backend immediately they have to replicate the necessary version environment, correct? For that they cannot go and again pick up the source code, compile it. The compile what we are doing, it is taking maximum 2 to 3 minutes. But remember, after all functional testing, load testing, security assessment testing, everything complete means it will take 4 to 5 hours. Even more than that. So in that case, they need to keep store these two parts every time, correct? Before they deploy or as soon as they deploy, correct? Correct or not?
Yes, Vijay.
So where you will store? So you have now the application, built application plus raw code. So what are the software you will use it?
Nexus. So
is it SVN, CVS?
Rational rows. So I used to use previously rational rows as well as there is a. How many of you know ClearCase?
Yeah, yes.
Because most of the time I used to.
I used ClearCase also.
So IBM ClearCase. So these are all product previously, but now we are talking about lightweight tools, more easy way. So there is a Nexus. This is one good product, or you can use even Artifactory. Go on mute.
Vijay, SVN, CVS is also come under this.
You need to check because say for example GitHub, you can store only the code, not application and binaries.
Okay.
Of course you can, but I need to have integrate with all workflow wise. So let's take it with some common tool which everyone knows. So as soon as I create the code, as soon as I build the code, whenever I deploy as an application any one of these products, I need to store it here. You agree?
Yes, Vijay.
Yes,
So now we will take this as a last part because this is all resilience part. So now VM, this also it's an infrastructure. I'm not talking about the infrastructure now. So now JIT to store the code. Why you are storing? Anybody tell me? Why you are storing?
It's a distributed version control.
Yeah, for versioning.
For what purpose?
For updating the code.
To centralize the code where we
Okay.
can.
So source code management tools. Okay. What are the source code management tool? what all is displayed here? GitHub, Git, GitLab. So you can go with anything, Bitbucket or anything, correct? Correct or not?
Yes. Yes.
So I can just go pick up some common tool which everyone knows. Okay. So we will remove this. We will remove this because these are all we know very well most of the time. Okay. You go with this. Okay. Now your purpose is solved. So write the code, and I'm going to order wise. I'm going to store it. So write the code and store it in the version management, and using this pickup and using this tool, build it, and you are going to deploy. The moment you deploy, you will access this kind of a website. So you can use the application. Correct? Go on mute. Go on mute. Okay. So now store the builds. This also, because this is needed. Whenever I get into any issue or I want to research some bug, I need a previously built application with the source code. Now, web server or web application server. So this both are same, right? Both are same, right?
Yes.
So I'm just going to remove it. Okay. Now, database. You can go with any database. MongoDB. It depends on the application, what developer created. So you can go with, say, database, Oracle, or PostgreSQL, or MySQL. It depends how what kind of application you created. It entirely depends. Okay.
No, Vijay, can you please explain it to us clearly how we are deciding the database? Say, for example, we are recently going to deploy SAP application. I mean, this is totally different than what we are working on right now, or what we are going through now. But the deciding the database is really important factor for anybody to know. So can you help us how we can decide this database? That is where I posted the cost.
Wait. So I think you are attending all my classes, right? Okay. Wait.
Yes, most of the time.
Let me just show you. I already released, but I will come to your part, the casting part anyway. Not this one. I'm going for this. I think AWS I have released. Which one? Okay, let me go here. Most of the time, going with this playlist. So AWS. So if you come down, how to choose database? So it's a 23 class. So I'm just going to the relevant repository, database.txt. No, not this one. 23. How to choose database? Okay, so I'm just going here. There is a diagram I have explained.
Okay, if it is there in our, GitHub repository, I will go through once more.
Yeah. I'm just searching internship. Yes. I think let's just go and check which one I have explained. There is a detailed diagram I have explained. But casting part anyway, I'll just discuss it. Yeah, this is the one. Maybe I forgot in the class. Probably I'll put it today. So open in new image. Are you able to see this, Samsung?
Yes, we did.
So you said some database they have decided, right? So if you can watch, but in the video I have clearly explained. Again, I will explain. No issues. So first you need to decide what kind of a data, whether either is a structured data or unstructured data or semi-structured data, then you need to ask yourself, either they need availability or partition. These are all architect level. They will go for it. So at a time, you can satisfy 2 parameter only. You cannot satisfy 3 parameters. So mostly this theorem will help you to decide most of the time. So if your question is going to be availability and consistency, then it's going to be RDBMS. Then you need to ask yourself, how then there is a 2 way of RDBMS, either RDS. This I have drawn in AWS. Recently, I also explained in one of the internship class, both Azure as well as AWS. So Amazon RDS and Redshift. So Redshift is if your project, if it is going to be enormous concurrent users, say at a time 50,000 users will access that kind of unpredictable load, you have to go with Redshift, right? So this calculation only can decide first what kind of a database you want. So in your project, what kind of a data are you storing?
It's a structured data. I mean the Microsoft SQL is the what we selected.
Okay, so if it is a structured database in this is AWS, in Azure, go on mute. In Azure, there will be a MySQL, Microsoft SQL, and even you will also have many other database, PostgreSQL. So first you need to decide this calculation based on this decision. Then another important point is whatever you are storing the data, and from here, what you are going to access it. Say I'm storing some data. From this, I need to access or my data analytics application or third-party application going to access it and retrieve from this table. So how? What application? Based on this only, you can decide this database. It's not simply you can say mine is a Microsoft environment. I'm going with a so-and-so database. No. You need to have all this mechanism in the beginning. The costing part, anyway, I will discuss.
The application is SAP. We are
no, in SAP, what kind of application?
I mean, SAP has got multiple modules like global level management, materials management, financial management.
So
some 5 tools we are installing.
Yeah. No, I'm asking about the purpose. Say, for example, SAP, there is a information steward. It's a data catalog, correct? So it is going to handle more unstructured data, right? So in that case, that purpose also you need to understand. That is what I'm trying to convey you.
Okay.
So if you follow this, go on mute. There is a huge. See, again, I'm requesting in your office how you join. Please make sure you don't have much. Okay, so if you follow this diagram, you can get a lot of question. If you find that answer, finally you will end up with. I will also share the Azure diagram. I think I already added this one, or else I'll share it today. I have both AWS as well as Azure diagrams, so you can follow this. And you can first decide based on the purpose what kind of a database you want. And also you need to take care in the mind that after I stored any data, how are we going to provide or how are we going to access this data, either through application going to access, or we are going to transfer this data frequently through RSS feed or anything. Okay, now I'll come back to this as per this Excel sheet. So load balancer, of course, these are all you need. I will put it in the NFR because these are all you need as per the environment. Let's concentrate on the DevOps part. Okay, now storage. What kind of a storage you will? So this also infrastructure part, because without storage you cannot create a servers or storing the thing. So I'm just going to say cut. I'm going to insert. Okay, now what is the collaboration monitoring tool? What is the purpose you need that? Let's go certificate later. What is the collaboration and monitoring? What is the purpose of this?
To check the health of the application.
Health of the application, and how much we have completed the deployment, how much testing is complete. So of course, all I need to understand from the either through graph or through alerts, everything, right?
Even log monitoring, right?
Yeah, log monitoring, everything. So there will be a alert and there will be a monitoring. So there is a two tools. So can we split this in a two? Can we split in two here? Monitoring. So the collaboration, you can go with Discord or Slack. There are a lot of tools are available. And monitoring tool, what you will suggest? The common everyone knows tool, Prometheus. Yes, Prometheus is one of the major these days. But there are other good tools also. Yes, Nagios. So we will go with say Nagios. And health check of application and server. So we can even go with the Grafana. Even go with the Splunk. Okay. So now release the changes very frequently. What is the purpose of this? Why we need this? Yeah, App Dynamics also one of the great tool. I saw App Dynamics. Okay, so why we need this CA tool? Anybody? Why we need this CA tool? Anybody? Why we need a street officer? We can put this way. Instead of saying CA tool, we can say why we need a street officer.
For tracking.
To tracking, we can say in a funny way. To keep torture and get the work, correct?
Yes.
So,
so we need to follow up on all
that. Yes. Otherwise, the timeline will be missed out. Correct. So these people are really crucial people, even though we say managers, but they are in a real burning pressure. Most of the time, when we started as a junior, we will not realize their pressure. But when we grow as a senior people, definitely they will know how much wrong understanding. So
I'm working as an Agile manager only here.
Okay. So it's going to be really crucial role we need to play, because you can do your work, but coordinating, getting the deliverable done from various team, various time zones, it's not so easy. So we have to have one strict manager or strict officer. So here we are talking about the tool wise. What is the tool you know? What are the tools you know? CA tools. Jenkins, Circle CI, and TeamCity, and
𝐸deploy.
Sorry,
𝐸deploy.
Bamboo. These are all very famous. And GitLab CI and Velmatavi. The GitLab CI is one of the huge one. Most of the most of my current environment, we are using GitLab CI. And come down, Circle CI also, and even CodeShip. People are now started using. I heard that this is also a lot improved the feature wise. There is a lot, but don't worry. Take this from one or two tools. Okay?
Bitbucket also, right?
Bitbucket, I don't think they have, but Bitbucket normally I prefer the source code. So let's go with the Jenkins.
Okay. Yes.
So let's go with the Jenkins. Let's go with Bamboo, and let's go with the TeamCity. Let's go with GitLab CA. Okay, this is enough. So any one of the tool you are going to use it, because these tools are the TIT officer. So keep on, hey, can you do it? Hey, okay, you completed. Then, hey, you are the next person. Start it. Hey, you are the next person. Start it. So this is very crucial tool. Yeah, you deploy Samsung. You deploy also. I heard. Even there is a urban code. Have anyone heard about it? CA tool, urban. I think urban code or.
I heard, but no idea.
Yes. See, urban code also one of the very good tool. CA tool. So let's stick with this tool. Now, what is the testing? Why we need a testing here? Why we need a testing here? To find the bugs or to make sure whatever code you written, whatever, say for example, you are we are talking about the iccbank.com, right? Say for example, fund transfer. So you need to test with some dummy user using this tool. You add the account and transfer the fund and see the funds are getting transferred. So there will be a 5 steps during this fund transfer. So you need to test this 5. But while testing this, there will be a checkpoint. Okay, this fund transfer whole 5 steps, all 5 steps has to be completed within 1 milliseconds. No, it's not happening. So there is some issue. So find out. So this testing is also one of the crucial one. Okay, this testing is also one of the crucial one, which you can go for it. Okay, now what all you know, the common maybe famous testing tools you know. Yes, Padmini. So what are the testing tools you know?
Unit.
Selenium. What is that? Another tool? What is the other tool? Maybe I'll check. JUnit testing. Okay, this tool also, and also there is a quality center testing tool. It's HP. So there is a quality center testing tool. Yes, JMeter, SonarQube. These are all. It's a famous one. So let's go and say SonarQube, and even app IUM. Okay, even JMeter. Okay, let's stick with 3 or 4 tools. That's okay. So now, what is the security assessment? Why we need security assessment? Why we need a security assessment? Why we need security assessment? Why we need a security assessment?
To check the vulnerability of the code.
Project the vulnerability of the code as per your governance, everything, and also you need to check what are the guidelines you followed as part of security. Say, for example, in your code, you should not use any direct IP address. You should use only DNS name, or you need to use Java, some of the reusable, or you should not use direct values, or you should not use the non-standard ports, or you should not use the direct password, or you should not use plain any input. It has to be a secure one or encrypted one. So you need to check some tool to validate your code is passing the security aspects. So what are the tools you know?
Yeah, penetration testing is
Yeah, there are a lot of testing. So as part of your expectation, you need to define. So if you take my current environment, we have a 3 tools. Every build, 3 tools will check. One tool will check all vulnerability part. One tool will check all the code related part. one tool will check, is there any loopholes? So it's up to you. My IBM in CI/CD, we have a four tools, because there will be a build, the OS level also it will check. So what are the tools available in the market for security assessment? Go for this assessment, security assessment, DevOps tools. Go for this and pick up some common tool which you know. So this is one of the famous tool, Snark. Even Fortinet also having a lot of tools available. So we will take some common tool. We will go with some Fortinet tools. Fortinet DevOps tools. Okay, so here we can go with the Fortinet based, because they are a security specialist. So normally they have all kind of products. So either we can go with their product. Okay, as of now, we will go with some of the tools. Okay, now almost you got some common expectation around any web application, correct? Correct or not?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, so now if you want to go for this, what you need one machine where Eclipse has to be installed, right? Correct. Correct.
Yes, web server.
Yeah, you need one machine where Eclipse is installed, where developer will log in that machine, develop the code, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
So now I'm just going to put it in this, so that I don't want to go here, because there is a jar and var in the same column. So now to store the code, what you need? You need a server, or you need some software. Mostly, if you go and deploy Bitbucket, you need one machine, because it's a private. You cannot store and go and say github.com, because it's a public, right? So you need to build, or you can go with the software as a service, separate subscription. Okay, but that data you need to ensure they are also providing. Most of the software as a service vendors, they are providing the enterprise grade offering also. So you need the login, correct? Login to store the code, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
So build the code. Where you will build the code? He created the code. He checked in the GitHub or Bitbucket or whatever source code repository. But taking the code, you need to build it. So while compiling it, building it, you need one machine where Maven is installed or Gradle is installed, correct?
Yes.
So you need one VM. Okay. And
can't we install both in the Eclipse and?
No, first we will go assume that we need one mission. Then
okay.
It's up to you, club. Of course, we can club this and this.
Okay.
So as of now, we are trying to understand. We are trying to remove all our confusion here. Okay. So it's up to you. Even you can club this mission, this mission, this mission. You can say only one mission. It's up to you. But as of now, we will go one by one, so that I don't want to have any more confusion whoever is in this call. So deploy this one. So we need what we need. We need one machine where WebLogic is installed, or WebSphere is installed, or BizTalk service installed, or Oracle Fusion middleware installed, or JBoss installed. Correct?
Yes, Vijay. Yes, Vijay.
Okay. Now store the builds. What do you need? You need one machine where Nexus is installed or Artifactory is installed, correct? Correct. And as part of database, what do you need? You need one database has to be approved. As of now, think about, I have one machine Oracle is installed, or I have one machine where PostgreSQL is installed, or I have one machine where MySQL is installed, or I have one machine where my MongoDB is installed. So I need one machine, correct?
Yes.
Or you can go with any cloud managed databases. It's up to you, but we need one database, correct?
Yes, yes, Vijay.
Okay, certificate and all. Anyway, it's part of your NFR. You need to secure your thing. So I'm just putting it here. I'm not going to bring under this. Okay, now collaboration tool. Mostly they are offering us a software service, but there are a lot of tools you can build on your own tool. Okay, so as of now, I'm going. We need one login, right? As per whatever subscription we have, right?
Yes.
So the monitoring also, you need to have some monitoring server, correct? So you need one VM. See, whatever I'm saying, minimum one VM, but you can have, say, this one. You can have a cluster, database cluster. You can have even this as a cluster. But we will go minimal understanding. What you need this? What you need this? This one.
We have to install Jenkins or
Jenkins or Bamboo or TeamCity or GitLab CA or whatever CA tool you are willing to adapt it. So we need one VM mission, correct?
Yes.
So what is your need testing? You need one VM mission, correct?
Yep.
So security assessment tool also, you need to install the specific tool, or if you are going with software as a service, normally you need to think about most of the assessment tools are you need to put it in your own environment and create your assessment rules on your own. So you need one VM. So now, how many VMs you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to duplicate it so that I can remove this part. So we will remove this part. Okay, so that it will be easy for you to see. See, you need one. You need one machine. You need one machine. You need one machine. You need one machine. You need one. You need one. So how many machines you need? Totally 9 machines, right?
Yeah. 9 machines.
So these 9 machines, either you can go with the VM based infrastructure or 9 containers, correct? 9 containers, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you able to understand this? Are you able to understand this? And you already have a login. So what you need to make sure from this VM machines or from this containers, this JIT login has to be reachable. This Slack or whatever login has to be reachable, correct? So you need a proper networking, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm coming to the important one. Now, what is your confusion? I'm coming back to the same. Now I'm going back here. I'm going back here. Okay, first I'm going to remove everything. The reason why I'm saying this is digital AI is same whatever we did so far, last 15 to 20 minutes, whatever exercise. Okay, we will go. The one more important one we forgot. Okay, let's delete everything. Okay, and delete this part. So can anyone tell me what all we have given? So to write the code, what all we given? Eclipse, correct? Correct.
Yes.
So we can check where is the Eclipse. We need to go for it.
It's under the SCM.
Wait, let me just check how they categorize this here. Eclipse monitoring, database management, and serverless. No, not here. So I need to just say environment. Environment is either cloud or that is okay. But we need to know where they have. Okay, they haven't mentioned any this one
IDE.
IDE. They haven't mentioned any IDE. Release orchestration also. They haven't mentioned any IDE. It's okay. So assume you already have know this IDE part. So they're starting with SCM. So you know what is the SCM you need? Bitbucket server or something, right? That's what we discussed now, correct?
Yes.
So click it and add tools. Let me just remove everything. JUnit, JABX, Slack. See, 45 web inspect. This is the security assessment. I told, right? 14 those are all direct security products. So I'm just going to remove all. So Bitbucket server. So in that case, you have Bitbucket server now. So now, what is the repository we have discussed? Either Nexus or Artifactory, correct?
Yes.
So we will go with Nexus or Artifactory. We will go with the Artifactory. So now, what is the CI tool we discussed? GitLab CI or Jenkins or TeamCity or Circle CI and all, right? Urban Code and all, right? So let's go with Jenkins or TeamCity, which everyone knows. Okay, add tools. And what is the configuration management we have discussed? I think we haven't discussed configuration management. So better you go with some kind of a Ansible or Terraform. So I'm just going with, where is the Ansible? Okay, see here, Ansible. So I'm just going to add it. So in this we have missed because we just discussed about. So in that case, you need one configuration management for one more configuration management, because you need to scan all the servers and fix it or change it or deploy or update any configuration files. So you need one more VM. If you go for container based, you need a container. Okay, now what is the deployment we discussed? What is the deployment we have discussed? What is the deployment we have discussed? What is the deployment we have discussed?
Nexus.
No, the deployment. So whatever we discussed, most of them are legacy, right? Now they are having almost all DevOps related, means the latest one. So how many of you know any of this? So
Yeah,
I know
CloudBees.
I know CloudBees, yes.
Yes.
And also I know Spinnaker also. I used one of the projects.
Here.
And what are all?
AWS
Urban Code I have heard, but I haven't used. Azure DevOps we can go, or AWS Code Deploy. So don't take any confusion. AWS Code Deploy or Azure, they are having simple UI. In the backend, they may have WebSphere or they may have JBoss or so they are providing you as a simple UI. You deploy it, they will give you as a web application environment in the backend. Yeah, Rundeck.
Urban Code is also there. Urban Code.
Yes. Rundeck also one of the biggest famous. Okay. Most of the time, Rundeck will be really easy. Okay, so I'm adding it. Now, environment. Either you are going to keep it as a VM or container. If it is a container, again, you are going to create your Kubernetes environment, or you are going with the AWS Kubernetes or Azure Kubernetes or Google Kubernetes. It's up to you. So you can select this and see Azure or IBM Cloud or Alibaba Cloud, Google Cloud or DigitalOcean Cloud. So what do you want? Either OpenStack, it's up to you, or AWS. So what I'm saying is you decide what you want. So I'm going to decide Azure. Where is the Azure? Yeah, Azure. Now we will come with this one, this part. So we have discussed about what is the major functionality, but we haven't discussed about is there any issue how to automate, means how to create a ticketing. Yesterday in the internship group, we created about one thing like tech queries. So I said those who are all having any queries, simple, you go and issues and open up either I'm having this so and so question. You put it and say new issue. So we need some ticketing process. We need a process, right? So go for it.
ITSM.
Yeah, ITSM. Yes. So I'm just going to click this. So you need some ITSM tracking.
Yeah,
So
Jira.
everyone knows most of the time Jira or ServiceNow.
Yes.
Right. So we will go with the ServiceNow because let's go with the some common tool. Go on mute. Go on mute. So and then collaboration tool. We have discussed about Slack, everything, right? So we will go with some common tool which everyone knows. Where is the Slack tool? Yes, Slack. So I'm just selecting the Slack tool.
I think Zendesk also so many people are using.
Yes. So there are two so many tools. Now I will tell you what exactly I'm trying. So testing. So we discussed about the Selenium, JUnit, everything, right? So where is this? Which tool we are going? We are going with Selenium, Cucumber. So there are a lot of tools, but we will go with some famous tool. Okay, Selenium. Okay, and AIOps analytics, if you want, you can go for it, but at least we go with some mandatory one. Security, yes, we need. So these are all tools where you can scan your code in all level, right? So I go with the Snort or Fortify. But there are a lot of tools, even SonarQube. We will go with SonarQube because many people knows about SonarQube. Go for it. Add tools. Okay, now go to others. What all is there? Agile planning. So before all this, some senior lead has to plan what tool we are going to use, how we are going to use, and what schedule we are going to use. Each tool, what is the functionality, and what to do, what is not. So those are all we can go for it. So I'm going with Jira, and there is a add tools, and also there is a other monitoring. So what all tool we can monitor? So don't think that there is a lot of tools are not displayed. These are the tools they have included. Digital AI, maybe they have some tie-up, so that's why they are promoting this. It's okay, but we need to just understand. So we will go with some Zabbix, which everyone knows, or Nagios, which everyone knows. So we will go with Nagios. Come down, database. So as I said, which database you want? So Microsoft SQL Server, or you are going with all graphs related, Neo4j, MariaDB, Oracle DB. We will go with Oracle because everyone knows. So and say add tools. And again, I'm going enterprise. We have selected monitoring. We have selected database. We have selected. Come down. Now, if you are going with this environment, then this is not needed. If you are not going with environments, then you want everything as a serverless, right? Then you have to choose this. As of now, we don't need. Okay, now we have decided what are all the tools and release orchestration. This also you go, and we can go with the CloudBees. Means some project manager, they need to keep decide what is the next release. That release, what are the future? These are all has to be controlled. This and this have to be managed by most of the time the agile senior project managers. And what is the value stream management? Click this. So you need to have some process, right? So you can deploy this, or as of now, I don't know it. So now, how do you implement this as a CI/CD pipeline? Let me open up a new diagram. How many of you know how to install Jenkins? Can you raise your hand or confirm in the chat? Or TeamCity. So both we can do it in your machine itself. How many of you know? Okay, how many of you know how to install Jenkins? Or okay, so the same concept. So Jenkins, okay, you installed. Okay, assume some of you go and take one Windows machine. You will install IDE, Eclipse, IDE. We can say IDE. Okay, how many of you know how to? What is the other one? We will go with this. Okay, here instead of TeamCity, we are saying Jenkins. Oh, it's okay. How many of you know how to install Ansible? How many of you know? We will go one by one. So how many of you know how to install Ansible? How many of you know how to install Ansible? Okay, so I'm taking one Ansible. So how many of you know how to install Rundeck and configure it? How many of you know how to install Rundeck? But even you don't know, you can just go and say Rundeck installation procedure. So basically what I need is I need one machine for Rundeck configured up and running. Okay, this is one machine. And how many of you know, okay, environment wise, we are going with Azure or AWS or Google Cloud. Okay, now, how many of you know, we'll come in this. How many of you know how to configure CloudBees? So you need to have CloudBees. Okay, how many of you know the ITSM ServiceNow? So ServiceNow also, either if you have a software as a service subscription, you can go for it, or you can deploy, or you can create an environment, or you already have a ServiceNow environment where you can configure, or you can get some login credentials. Okay, so ServiceNow. Okay, now I'm going here. What is the other one? Slack. So Slack is definitely you need a login. So Slack. Okay, now go for it. What is the other one? So testing. Okay, either JUnit or SonarQube. So you need one machine to SonarQube or JUnit. What is the other one? Jira. So Jira, mostly if you have an environment, mostly ServiceNow and Jira environment are going to be together. So you can have Jira environment. Okay, and what is the other one? Database. So of course you need one database. Okay, and then what is the other one? Monitoring tool. So you need to have one more machine to run your monitoring tool, Nagios. Okay, now go for it. So pretty much we have covered everything, right? Is there anything we need? Anything we need? Anything we need? Anybody can just tell or share? Is there anything we need?
No, Vijay, I think so. We have completed all the steps. My option. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you are audible. Maybe Vijay has some.
Okay. So now, no. I'm just hearing. I'm just creating some. Okay. So now we covered almost all from each functionality, at least one tool. This is what I'm trying to convey so many years to everyone. In yesterday post also, there is a mix of tools. Say, for example, JIT functionality itself, there is a 4 tools. Even there is a deploy application itself, there is a 4 tools. But when people see combined together without categorization, okay, people will very often confuse. This is what is happening in the market. So what is my first request is, whenever you see such a huge list, please make sure from that list, first categorize. Okay, I'm seeing all this in the list. There is, it doesn't make any sense because we need one tool. That's it. Because each tool, if you take this, WebLogic also same purpose, Bestack server also same purpose, JBoss also same purpose, WebSphere also same purpose. Even important one, Tomcat also same purpose. Correct. But in our environment, which one we are going to use? That is what you need to take a call. That is where people are keep getting confused. Everything. Is everyone clear? Hereafter, if you see a huge list, you need to say, hey, just stop. You sent all this. You mentioned all this in your article, but can you help me to categorize like this? This is what you need to say hereafter. Because this is a really alarming across industry. People who are writing a blog, people who are sharing these things, before that, they need to add only one thing. Here, there is a 50 tools, and these 5 tools are part of this category. 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 This is what hereafter you need to make sure from the post. Right now, what I'm going to do is quickly, I'm going to create a Google Cloud. Already I have explained this Jenkins, but still I just want to show you from Jenkins only so that you will understand very clearly. Just going here, say console. How many of you not clear? Please raise your hand. I will explain again so that there should not be any confusion going forward. So whenever you want to prepare your DevOps career or interview, please don't panic. What you can do is you need to first fix one tool. Okay, if you explore how this works with one tool, even if your job description says different tool, you can just replace that tool name with your learning. That's it. If you know GitHub, if the interview is asking GitLab, just replace. Don't say I know only GitHub. The same functionality. If you build the application using Maven, you are going to get war file. If you build the same with Gradle, you are also going to be the output is going to be the same. This is where one of the major mistake people are doing. Even that war file going to deploy, the procedures may be different, but the end goal is going to be the same. If you deploy the same application in Tomcat, you are going to access a similar web application. If you deploy the same application in WebSphere, the procedure only will differ. If you have a good article, you go and refer. But when you want to project something, the end goal, you know. What is the purpose of this? So that is where I'm keep on advising. You cannot explore all the tools one single person. What you can do is you put one tool for each purpose and integrate it and deploy it. And so you will understand the CI/CD pipeline. This will make sure you can project yourself. Yes, I know CI/CD pipeline. These are the tools I worked on. And if you say different tool, yes, it's OK. But I can quickly adapt it. There is no big deal because you know already one tool. So create instance. I'm going to create one instance. I'm going to install Jenkins. I'm going to show how you can integrate everything. First, you need to this is the first thing you need to bring. Okay. Now, what you can do is you have IDE integrated. You have a Ansible integrated. You have a what we have discussed this run. Anybody can recollect? I missed it. Ansible database you integrate it. Slack you integrate it. SonarQube you integrate it. And ServiceNow you integrate it. Yeah, Rundeck. So you can integrate it. Jira you integrate it. Nagios you integrate it. So here you create a pipeline. This is the exact you need to understand. So now I'm going to say Jenkins and 2 CPU, 4 GB memory is fine. But these days, most of the time, CentOS 7, they have removed most of the command, everything, the package, I mean the repository wise. So there will be a small changes. So better those who are really going to start now, I would strongly recommend Rocky Linux 8. But there will be a few glitches. So click it. Of course, my repository I'm started updating backend. So the procedure wise, you are not going to much changes. So let's go with the GitHub, Cloud and Loud, and tools, DevOps tools. Go here, class 6. So Jenkins installation. So you need one Rocky Linux. So instead of wherever you see CentOS in my steps, start replace with Rocky Linux. But I will update by this week slowly. Come down. You can install everything, but we'll see. There is some package name. If it is different, probably we can check it. So let me close down all unwanted window. Let's refresh. Okay, so now I'm going to say SSH. So it logged in. So I'm logging as a root. Okay, and I'm going here. I'm going to copy paste. Actually, this is a Rocky Linux. Let's say, is there any package name is going to be different? I don't think it is different. Almost same family only. But CentOS already they have removed, and they are planning to go as a CentOS stream. Okay, so there is a NTP is not there. Unable to find match NTP. It's okay. The NTP is not required. At least we install this one. Yum install this one. Let's say yes. So the package name, everything is same only. So you no need to worry much. So what all other packages we have, go for it. So EPL release is really not required, already installed. So Vim, you can go for a VA editor. Vim means it's a colored one. So wget also we can install because wget is really important. Wget, let's see the package is there. Yes, is there. So now what we can do is we can go with this systemctl. Okay, NTP is not there, but what is the timing? Almost same. So now I'm going with this. I'm going with copy. I'm going with download. Yes, downloaded. I'm going with untar, extract it. Okay, and also I'm going to move Apache Maven here. Okay, so now mvn -- version should work. Okay, in that case, you go here cd user local Maven Apache Maven. So the path is not set. It's okay. So what is there in that bin? cd bin ls cd bin. Okay, so there is a Maven mvn -- version version. So it's working. So we need to set the path which we are going to see it here. I am going to set the path. Okay, let's come here. We can have. So I'm just going to say copy this, go here, insert mode, paste it. I'm going to. So now what is the either you can log off and log on, or I am going to source it. Basically, you are reloading the profile. Now you say even from anywhere mvn -- version, it will work because now the environment variable is active. Now come down. You need to install the Jenkins. Before that, if you install now yum install Jenkins, machine don't know where to download, right? So you need to download the repository. Now you say repo list automatically. Now Jenkins is there. Let's minimize this repo list, which will show Jenkins repository also. Now come down. I need to install this key, rpm import this key. So installed. Now I am installing Jenkins software. So far I haven't changed any commands. So Rocky Linux is almost same family. So you no need to worry. But I strongly recommend don't go with the CentOS. Most of the repository they removed. Even last week Linux class also we have seen. So come down. Systemctl restart. So I'm starting the services. So now we have got the service. Now we need to check the IP address. What is the IP address? This is the public address. So go here 8080. Let's wait. Once we confirmed the service started, then we will go for it. Okay, so the service is now we have started and active running. So go here, say 8080. So you should have opened 8080. So first time password, I'm copying this, going here and paste it, copy the password and going here. Because if you do exercise one time, whatever we did today, you will not get confused even for next 10 years. So first let's install all important plugins. Okay, so now I'm going to say cloud on loud and password is cloud on loud 123. We can say CNL 12345, CNL 12345, and full name is say cloud and loud, cloud n loud. Okay, I can say Vijay at cloudandloud.com. Save and continue. See, once you went here, I'm just going. So that's it. Now, what I'm going to do is, what is, I'm going one by one. So now, anyone can say, so here, what is the first one? We need to do it. We need a GitHub. So anyway, GitHub is by default, it will be there plugin. So you no need. What is this? Maven. So you need to configure Maven, the path. So you can go here. First to manage Jenkins. First we will go with the all common one. Global tools. What is the JDK? So I'm going to say first Java 1.8.0. You can add a number of Java. So what is the Java home? What is the Java home we have given? This is the Java home. So go for it. Go for it. Go for it. And JIT we already installed. So it's saying which JIT. Okay. So now we can say JIT. So command not found. That means yum install JIT. That is the reason if you look at this command, I have added JIT also, but we haven't installed this command. So I'm going to install JIT now. That is why it's saying the error. So the error is clearly saying there is no such executable from the configured environment variable paths. So now the JIT is there. So let's go and say here. So I'm just say JIT. So automatically now it won't get any error. So now Maven. Go here. What is the Maven version? Maven 3. What is the version? MVN version. So 3.5.4. So 3.5.4. What is the home? Maven home. User local Apache Maven. Copy this. Go here and say save. So this is the first step you need to do. Now, as per this diagram, first what we need, as per this diagram or as per this diagram, first what we need, Bitbucket, right? Bitbucket, right? So can we check Bitbucket? First we need to integrate. First everything we need to integrate with one CI tool. So go here, manage plugins. So can anyone tell me what is the repository tool we are going to do it? We selected, we decided. Can anyone tell me what repository tool we are going to select it? What repository tool? You can see this. What repository tool? JFrog Artifactory, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going here, search Artifactory because the CI tool is a manager. First, you need to teach manager to speak that language. Artifactory. So you need to select it. Suppose in your project you are having, say your manager is saying, no, we need to go with Nexus. You need to uncheck this and you need to inform or install Nexus driver, correct? Correct or not?
Yes.
Okay, so now since we decided, we discussed Artifactory. So I'm going with Artifactory. Okay, so I'm selecting. Now, as per this tool, what all we need? So instead of TeamCity, we install Jenkins. So you think first you need to install this. Okay, now what we need? Ansible, right? Configuration management. Go here. Again, I'm saying I'm a CI tool. Who am I? I'm a manager. Who am I? I don't know anything. So I need to first we need to feed everything. Driver. It's called plugins. So Ansible. Okay, see here, Ansible. If you want to go with Ansible Tower, you go for it. Okay, so now Ansible and what all we need? Runduck. Go here, Runduck. See here, Rundeck. And what all we need? Azure. Okay. Go here, Azure. Okay. And Azure credentials you need, or Azure AD, everything you need to integrate it, because the CA tool is a CA tool. It will have all the plugins, but you need to instruct based on your decision. Is everyone clear? If you are not clear, let me know. I will just explain again. If you are okay, I will proceed. Batmini, everybody. Can you confirm in the chat? Rajkumar, Srini, Venumatavi, everybody. Okay, so now I'm going here. So say assume we have integrating Azure. Fine. What role I need in this scenario? I need ServiceNow. Go here, ServiceNow. ServiceNow. See here, ServiceNow. So you need to make sure what you are going to do. Okay, so there is a different purpose, ServiceNow CI/CD or ServiceNow DevOps. So these are all, while exploring only you will know, but I'm just giving you a clear-cut idea. You take one tool, take one CA tool, first you decide like this, and make sure the tool you are selecting is open source. Then only you can do all in your own lab, POC lab. ServiceNow and all, I think you need a license. So you can select this. Now, what all you need? Slack. So who am I? I am a manager. Who am I? I am a CA tool. Who am I? I don't know anything. So Slack, come down. So you need to have a notification. Okay. As per this diagram, what all I need? What all I need? You need a Nagios. You need a SonarQube. You need a Jira. You need a Oracle database. Simple. Go here. Oracle database. Come down. Oracle DB or Oracle database. Database or Oracle. Okay, we will search Oracle and see Artifactory or Oracle. So you need to find out which plugin from the documentation or from your Oracle database. We will check the PostgreSQL or MySQL. See, MySQL database. So this documentation, maybe they have different naming one. So assume we are going with MySQL. Okay, what all I need? I need Jira. So go here, Jira. Come down, Jira. And what all I need? I need Nagios. Okay, or Prometheus. So we will go with this. So we will go and say Prometheus. Where is the Prometheus? Yes, Prometheus. So go here, go here. So Prometheus, I think there is a spelling. We will search it with Google. Prometheus. Prometheus. No. Prometheus Jenkins plugin download. This also one of the things. If you are not able to do it, so you can go and download it also. I will just open up some of my this one. I will show you. Just 2 minutes. Training. DevOps. Okay, I'm just going here. There will be a plugin installation. I'll go here. No, class 8. Okay, so here you need to find out that plugin download. Maybe in Google, Prometheus plugin. Okay, we will select this name because sometimes the name will be different for each product. No, it's not coming. Or we can do one thing. We will remove this. First, we will check. By default, it's installed. Install without restart. Because there is a huge number we have selected. First, let's complete all the selected one. Then we will go for it because the list is huge now. Okay, now we will go here, manage plugins and manage plugins and installed one. And we'll say Prometheus. No. So if you don't find any here, even the available repository, so you can just ask that vendor, they will have their plugin. So see here, Prometheus metrics is there. So this name, probably the name, whatever we put. So we need to select this Prometheus. Then what all we need, Nagios or Prometheus. OK. And I'm going here. I'm saying install. So now we have installed. We have given the driver. Now we need to configure. It's our responsibility. So as per this diagram, we have to go for it. So restart it. OK. So we need to restart some of the plugins. We need to restart. It's OK. I'm going here dashboard. So now can anyone tell me you have picked up one tool from this diagram? You have installed the plugin. Now you need to integrate it. In order to integrate, what do you need? I'm going for a configure system. Whatever you installed, now it will be shown here. It's your responsibility to make sure you know this VM is already running. You know this DB is already running. You know, so this DB means you have the DB details, username and password. You have the ServiceNow username, password, and you ServiceNow URL. So you have this mission username, password, this mission details. You have Slack username and password and URL. OK, and SonarQube mission username and password, and Tomcat username, password, and Tomcat mission IP address. Nagios mission IP address and username, password. So you have all this mission IP address and details. Go for it. Come down. See run deck. So you need to say add run deck, and you need to give a URL and login. Boom. OK, and test connection. So you have integrated. Come down. And Jira. Click this, and you need to give the URL and username, password, and test it. So you have integrated Jira. Come down. See the JFrog. We have integrated Artifactory sometime back. So you have to give the Artifactory URL, username, password, test connection. First, you need to integrate everything before we start the pipeline. Come down. See Slack. Sometime back we have integrated in one of the internship class. We have integrated. So even those who really don't know, this is the first time. Please check with my YouTube playlist. If you are not able to find out, let me know. I will just point out the right procedure. So come down. So global database. What is the database we have installed? MySQL. In that case, you need to give what is the database details, what is the username, what is the password, and test it. So now integration is over. Can you tell me now all this now know how to talk to Jenkins? Jenkins know how to talk to these people, correct? Can you confirm in the chat? Can you confirm in the chat? Now Jenkins knows how to talk because you already integrated with the username password, correct? Now go for it. I'm going for a dashboard. Okay.
Vijay,
Yeah, go ahead.
on the system again, can you go to that manage Jenkins?
Yes.
So in the global tool configurations, we set up that which is we already installed on the server.
Yes,
Is it right?
Yes.
And whichever we have not installed, like we have installed the plugin, and again we have to give the URL in global tool configuration.
Where global tool configuration, basically, if I go here, see global tool is it's like a Java, Jet, Gradle, even there is a Ansible, couple of tools you have, it will be added to integrated here. Even Ansible you need to integrate it here. And there is a third machines, separate machines, which external softwares you need to go to system and using the credentials, you need to integrate it here. The configure system and global tool is mostly will be your integration part. But before that, first you need to install all the plugins. Because who am I? I don't know anything, but you need to educate the relevant driver. I would say it's a driver. But Jenkins term, they are saying plugin. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, now it is clear. Like you have installed the plugin remaining like 𝐂𝐥𝐸, Azure, everything, and
Yes.
in the configure system with the credential we need to configure that.
Yes. So now, as per this diagram, you picked up all the tools as per the decision, as per a lot of discussion. You picked up one tool, Srikanth. Now you decided which tool you want to use it for monitoring, which tool you want to use it for collaboration, which tool you want to use it for testing. This is finalized. Now you go and implement that CI tool and install all the drivers, I would say plugins, and you need to first integrate everything. So now the whole task is completed. Now we are coming into the main part, creating the pipeline, correct? So till now you clear, right, Srikanth?
Yes, Vijay. Yeah.
Okay, go to new item. Okay, and I'm going to say dev pipeline. If your project is Maven Java project, then go for it. You will have more less steps. If you want to create on your own everything, go for freestyle project. Both are almost same. So go Maven project, say okay. Now someone tell me what order I want this. First, people will create the development, check in the GitHub, correct? This is a GitHub, correct?
Yes.
So from there only our work start, our DevOps work, correct?
Yes.
Say for example, we will take this GitHub itself. We will take this GitHub. So this is my repository where the code, or we can go with say maven_demo. So we will go with this repository. Okay, I'm going here. So what is your code? Where is your code available, Srikanth? This is our code, right?
Yes, in Git. Yeah.
So, and what is your expectation? Whenever the developer is checking the code, automatically the build should start. Automatically the further task, everything has to be start without any manual intervention, correct?
Yes.
So in that case, you need to set Polysium. Instead of putting star, 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 you need to just select this and you need to define. Even though you developer is checking on Thursday or Wednesday or anything, you need to define when to start this build. Every weekend only, because it's a production. Or development means you can give star. As soon as he checked in, he will, if you enable this, then the CI tool, who am I? I'm a manager. Who am I? I will keep on monitor this GitHub. If there is any changes, immediately I'll start build without asking anyone, because you already given the control to me. Okay, come down. So minute, hour, date of month, date of week. So 5. It's like the same cron job concept. Come down. Maybe the help you expanded. That is why it is having. So schedule.
Come
Come down.
Vijay, what is that build snapshot? What is written there? You have
Which one?
selected.
Which one?
Go up little. Yeah, this is.
So build whenever a snapshot dependency is built. So this is where the artifact everything will come. Even you don't select this. That is where we are separately configuring the artifact. One.
Okay.
So come down. So here, what automatically it's picking up the form.xml. See here, form.xml, where your Java code, everything is a standard format. So come down. So now after build, if you say save this pipeline, what we'll do is we'll pick up the code and I'll go with the another one. So if I go with this, then what will happen from GitHub? Okay, my Jenkins, I'm a Jenkins. So the code will be picked up and the code will be built and the war file will be created. Is there any use now? Is there any use? No, right? Keeping the war file, it doesn't make any sense. I need to deploy it so that people will access, correct? Correct or not?
Yes.
So
then only we can access.
Yes. So now I'm going to say here, is there any, I think there is a Tomcat or anything is not installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dashboard. So I'm going to dashboard. I'm going to manage Jenkins. I'm going to manage plugins. OK, I'm going for DevOps tools training. I'm going for Jenkins installation. So there is a deploy to container. This is where we need to install. Go for available. Deploy to container. Yes. Installing it. Now you see the thing. This warning after you rebooted or restarted your Jenkins service, it will be fine. So I'm going for a dashboard. I'm going for this. OK, and I'm going for a configure. So we'll start where we left. Come down. So I'm just going to, because till this steps, the code will be picked up and built and war file will be created. But I need to deploy that war file or ER file. Click it. So now see here, JBoss, Glassfish, Tomcat, all those things are there, right? Which one we have discussed? Which one we have discussed?
JBoss.
JBoss or so. So if you select JBoss or Tomcat, you need to provide that Tomcat or JBoss URL because you already integrated, right? So click this. So you need to give the username, you need to give the URL. So what will happen is war file, then the next step, what you are saying, you want to deploy it. OK, you deployed it. Then what is the you deployed into Tomcat or JBoss? Now what you need to do is as per this, as soon as you deploy, you also need to store in the Artifactory or Nexus or some kind of a repository management, correct? Source code as well as the built application, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm just going to add next step. What is the next step? Deploy artifacts to Artifactory. If you install Nexus, you will get this option. OK, now Artifactory. I'm just selecting this. So you need to already you integrated. So if you integrated, it will be shown here. Now we haven't integrated. I'm just giving you idea. I explained everything in one of the internship as well as my the DevOps tools playlist. So we have integrated. Now what will happen? So pick up the code and build the code. War file will be created and war file will be deployed. Also, now we added one more workflow. You also take the source code completely, put it here. Also, this war file also put it here as part of this release. So now, as part of this go live, as soon as I deployed, I'm also storing this release source code plus this release built application. Now, what I need as per this.
Hello, Vijay.
Yes, go ahead.
You are okay?
Yeah. Database, right? So we need database, right? So now we already integrated the database to Jenkins. Okay, now go here. So normally you no need to add database here because that application you already have a connection pools. Only thing is that application has to reach the database, but only thing is you need to add here. Okay, so you no need to add a separate one, but make sure the Jenkins server is visible and integrated with that database. Now, what all you need? Collaboration tool. What is either Discord or Slack? So, are you able to see here anything related Slack? Are you able to see anything related to Slack?
Slack notification.
Yeah, Slack notification. So remember in one of the internship class also I showed how to integrate Slack. So you assume you have integrated in configure system. So you need to just say what all as part of this. This is the actual pipeline you are creating. So as part of this pipeline, I want only this notification, not everything. So select for it. Or your manager is saying I want all the notification. Yes, select for it. Now, what all I need? Monitoring. So what monitoring you have given? Prometheus. So go here. Is there any Prometheus showing here? Okay, go here. Is there any Prometheus? Sometimes if you are not able to see here, you need to just go with the shell one. Sometimes the command line also you can invoke. Okay, execute shell. Okay, if you click this, you can also put the relevant commands to trigger. Normally, this way we will not create in production. We will create as a pipeline. We will come to the next stage. Then you need a testing Selenium, right? So go here, come down. After all this, I need a Selenium. Are you able to see anything related to Selenium? Are you able to see anything related to Selenium here? Because the Selenium and all, you need to have the proper script. So you can execute that script because functional testing will have the necessary the use case testing scripts. You can invoke it from here. OK, and you need to have security assessment, the same. And you need to have configuration management, the same. Ansible will be shown here. If you see here, see Ansible playbook or Ansible ad hoc command. So you need to first to define what order. Okay, this is just for learning purpose. You can do understand with one complete workflow. This is what I'm most of the times advising. Okay, now how do I create in the production? Go for it. And I'm creating this one. Are you able to see the pipeline part? Pipeline part. Click this and say OK. And come down. Probably you can give a GitHub and all, but pipeline script SCM. So there is a Jenkins file. So if you go here, instead of the code, along with the code, you also should have Jenkins file here in this repository. So when I say this repository, OK, when I say this repository, I have to give the repository here. GitHub project. OK, so if you go here, you need to give the github.com what is your project. But when you give this, there should be a Jenkins file here. If you click this, see here, I have created some sample. So you must have everything written like this as a command line. The advantage, see here, these are all. If you go and create the previous way of pipeline in GUI, you need to give this in a command line itself, the shell, whatever I shown, right? But you need to create a stage. First stage, what you have to do. Second stage, what you have to do. Third stage, what you have to do. This is how you need to create the Jenkins file, and you need to go for it. So is there anybody have the confusion now? So don't worry if you see 500 tools in anywhere, but all you can do, you need to do is you first categorize like this and pick up one tool which is open source, which is you will get some documentation from internet. Okay, that tool you make sure you are listing it down first. And then you integrate it and take some test code like a maven_demo. This is maven_demo is a Java based application. So take the test code and you can go for it. As per this, go for it. If you do this, and you can very well project, yes, one complete workflow. I know you be strong it. The var file, if you deploy Tomcat, the same procedure. The var file, if you deploy WebLogic, the same procedure. The var file, if you deploy here, the same procedure. But the deployment is going to be somewhat different steps, but the logic is going to be the same. Are you clear now, or now ask your question, all your questions?
Vijay.
Yeah.
So through the Jenkins file, like Azure Jenkins pipeline you are doing.
Yes.
In that case, whatever the plugin we have installed, that plugin also we will install through Jenkins file.
Yes, everything you can do it. See,
like
the plugin and plugin installation and all. What I'm saying is, during the provisioning using Terraform, you will create the entire infrastructure, Srikanth. So you need to first create the necessary infrastructure. How we create? We discuss now. We need 9 missions, and each mission, this is the software I need. This is the plugin I need. These are all you need to have in the provisioning itself. So once the environment is ready, then using the Terraform, using the specific Jenkins file created, and you can trigger it. Correct? So there should be a 2 implementation. One is the environment related. One is your day-to-day application pipeline related. Correct? Srikanth?
Yes, Vijay. Ravi, Vijay.
Okay. Ravi, so you understand, right? So once you installed, only you can connect the Jenkins and run this script, correct?
But how we, like, as we are new to this tool, so how we can write this Jenkins file? Like, is it?
No, that is what I just mentioned in one of the class. So say, for example, you don't know how to write the Jenkins file because you are not from programming background.
Yes.
Okay. If you select this, okay, are you able to see the pipeline syntax? Are you able to see the pipeline syntax here?
Yes.
So right click, open in a new tab. In I think one of the internship I have explained. So what you want to do? You want to create some action through Slack or JIT or whatever. What do you want to do? Say, for example, Slack. You want to upload some file or send a message or send Slack message. What channel? Say, for example, general, or say support channel. Okay, what is the message? Hey, don't sleep. I am seeing you from your behind. Okay, so I'm just going to say this one and say generate pipeline script. You got this right? Right? As part of
Yes, Vijay.
your environment provisioning, already you have created all the servers with the required plugins, required integration, correct? So now, if you go to Jenkins server, if you run this command, it will work because you already installed all, correct? Correct or not?
Yes, Vijay.
So now, go to your GitHub where your actual code is. You are going to push it. The developer going to in same when you want. So just put everything in the notepad and first order it. When first command, when second command. So you if you order this, then copy this. I'm going to just copy paste this one. Okay, I'm going to put it in the notepad. So when you say this, it is going to this one. So that means this is the start and the end. When you say select this, that means this is the stages. Okay. When you say this, that means the deploy stage. So you need to have always, right? Slack and all, it's a notification, right? Right? Correct or not? Ravi? Okay, so now I'm going back here. So I need some example for always. So what I'm going to do is select JIT pipeline script, go for GitHub plus Maven. Okay, so go in one of the example, you will get everything. I'm just going to say copy. I'm going to say here, paste and go. Open GitHub. Oh, okay, they are changing it. Oh, okay, JIT. I think spelling mistake. Oh, okay. Go for it. JIT. So Jenkins file. No, not this example. This is not helpful. So I'm just going with the scripted pipeline. We will go in this. Okay. Copy this. Go here. Go here. Jenkins file. Something. Jenkins file always. Jenkins file always. So if I go here, some example, because instead of I create, I ask you to go and refer some Google example. We all need is we just need a one example, right? Come down. Agent always. Let's search it instead of wasting the time. Always. See here. So you need this section, Ravi. Are you able to see this? Post. This is exactly in GUI you have created, right? So copy this, go to your notepad. So here, select this. So stage deploy. I need after deployment, I want the separate section. So what is the command we need to put it? This one. So copy this, go here. Are you able to, can you unmute Ravi and just speak? So are you able to get the good idea? So these are all will happen one time, but whatever happen, I need the always section has to be applied. So this is how you need to create the Jenkins file very easy. But before that, this plugin has to be installed. That is why first I prefer to asking people to go with the Jenkins, because Jenkins will give a good idea. Then you can explore it other tools, CI tools. So even we will go with another example. So I'm going here. Say, for example, we have installed some Artifactory, right? So let's check artifacts or JFrog. Is there any Artifactory? Jira is there. But first you need to install the thing one. See here. Ravi, are you able to see?
Yes,
everybody. So Artifactory, the plugin is installed. So once you install plugin using this, it's straightforward. What do you want to do? I want to trigger, or I want to store, or I want to access it, right? So you select the necessary function. Okay, upload artifacts. This is what most of the time we need. So click this and click, see here, Artifactory upload file. So you need to mention the Artifactory because we haven't configured. So you have to select this automatically. Your so say for example this, copy this, go to here when you need after your build. Okay, after your deployment, right? So again you create this, but this one. So where is this? Okay, no, this one. Okay, so we need another stage. What is the another stage? We need another stage. What is the another stage? We need store artifacts. So steps. You don't confuse all this. Delete it. And what is that? We need. Okay. So artifacts. Okay. Artifacts, run artifact Gradle or Artifactory, upload artifacts, generate. So copy this relevant command from this and put it. Are you able to understand? If anyone don't understand the relevant command, this is how you need to create the stages. You can go multiple stages, but you need to order. This is why people always prefer to go with the code rather than the GUI based. It's very easy. So that is where even developer will do this these days. They are started doing this. That's why I'm keep on advising cloud or DevOps jobs. Please don't have the mindset that I need only the cloud skills, or I need only the Ansible skills, or I need only the Terraform skills. You also need a couple of other areas. But before going to that, you need to have proper idea. Take this some exercise whenever you free. If you don't have this, then this is a very good to start with. Srikanth, Ravi, everybody, are you clear now? Venimatavi?
Vijay,
yes,
in Jenkins, how we can monitor the logs, like the flow or complete flow? Can we check the logs anywhere how it is going?
You mean the Jenkins related?
Yes.
Yeah. So first you need to understand the Jenkins or CI tool you are deploying. So you need to go and check what are all the log files for that product. Not only Jenkins. Sorry, this is Ravi or
Rajkumar.
Rajkumar. So first you need to decide it's not only Jenkins. Whatever we are started discussing on multiple products right here, software. So each software, what is the log file? That log file anyway, you need to have the monitoring enabled. Even if you go and think Cloud Watch, you need to first define that configuration file. What are all the files you need to monitor, right? So you also need to have, when you say monitoring, you need to have one more exercise. So first, what are the tools you already decided? Each tool, log file, name, and location. You understand, Raj?
Okay.
Log file and location. This also you can create it, and separate workflow also you can create as a Jenkins. So Jenkins will keep on monitor, and because you need to rotate the log files also, right? You no need to do manual. That also you can create as a pipeline, because you already integrated all these servers in Jenkins. So there will be a log housekeeping pipeline which automatically trigger every day early morning, or it depends. But the idea here is you need to again say agent, what monitoring server, and then what stages. You need to first read that file and then copy the file to somewhere, or first tor it, and then store it in somewhere. So you need to write like this always in one pipeline. But what I'm suggesting is first step. Okay, let's go one by one. First step is you need to first decide what are the tools you need. Then second step, each tool, whatever the CA tool you are going to decide, is there compatibility or any plugin is available or no, not available. That decision you need to take it. Right later, you should not end up with okay, you selected everything, but most of the products is not having the plugins or drivers to the CA tool which you are selecting, which is going to be really issue for you. So these all analysis first, second step. Third one, how you want, as Srini mentioned, all this in one VM, or say this in one VM and this in one VM and this in a different VM. Okay, this is the login, or how you want. So as per this, we say 9 machines, or how you want, VM or container. Or in a 6 machine itself, we can accommodate all this. So you first decide the second one. So that is the third one. The fourth one is how to implement. Am I going to create a manually like this? Or I can put all in one Terraform script and I can provision the complete 7 machines. When I say provision, it has to create one machine, Jenkins machine, and do all required plugins and configure the plugins, everything. So when the Terraform script completed, that means the 7 machines has been provisioned, installed, configured, ready. Then the fifth step is how many pipeline we are going to create. Okay, for each pipeline, do we have the repository? Each repository, do we have Jenkins file created? This is how you need to plan while learning Jenkins. Sorry, DevOps.
Okay, Ajay.
So
Vijay, like
hereafter, anywhere people say multiple tools, don't get confused. First, understand from the tools what are the categories. Ask them to explain with the category wise. Maybe they could have mentioned same. Yesterday I seen because after that message there are a lot of people pinged me. So this is how you need to categorize from that huge list. Yeah, go ahead, Raj. You.
Vijay, this Jenkins is like we are following up, right? If any of the workflow, if it is not happening, so how will you make it trigger it, or how we will make that work done?
So that is why if you see the Slack, whenever you integrated with Slack, then the notification will go to that channel, right? So the production support team, all managers, everybody will watch that Slack channel. So we know from that alert which pipeline we are getting into issue, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
So that pipeline, anyway, the support team will go and check why it got failed. Most of the time, the integration is not proper, or the code while compiling or build, it could have failed. Because that is a new code which we pushed and the build is started. So while doing this compilation or build, the new code may have some more component has to be integrated, or some code itself having some issue. Because remember, the developer is developing this code in a standalone Eclipse environment, sandbox environment, correct?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah. But the same code now we are building in or testing in or compiling in our actual server, which definitely need a lot of other components has to be integrated. So this is where the Slack channel or this collaboration channel or notification channel is going to be more useful. I would say more critical.
Okay. Thanks, Vijay.
So if you just go and I'll point out the one of the internship session, we have did this, I think not last week, before that week. Or I can point the relevant steps. Or if you want, in one of the session, again, I will cover the integration, everything. But it's a very straightforward. So you need to first decide the tools. Then each tool you need to integrate with the CI/CD CA tool. Then you need to create a workflow. Before going to the direct Jenkins file, you try to do it in the GUI so that you will get understanding. Then go for a Jenkins file. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, Vijay.